Hi guys, welcome to Educino College's Selective Preparation Power Reading Test 46. Today, we'll be reading a poem by Jennifer Kelly called If You Go Softly. Let's begin reading. If you go softly out to the gum trees at night after the darkness falls, if you go softly and call ch-ch-ch-ch-ch, they'll come, the possums. If you take bread that you've saved, they'll come close up and stand and eat right from your hand. Softly, snatching, nervous, the possums. And if you are still and move slowly, you can, very softly, pat their soft fur gently, like that. It's true. You can really touch them, the possums, and you can do all that if you go softly at night, to the gum trees, if you go softly and call. Let's look at question 9. Question 9 reads, what does the phrase softly, snatching, nervous describe in the poem? Quickly, let's go back to the poem and see where this is. We can identify that here is where the line is, softly, snatching, nervous. Let's see what follows this line. We can see here, the possums. So when the question asks, what does the phrase describe, we know that it must be about the possums. And the only answer with the possums described is B, the possum's behavior. And this is true for them. Question 10 reads, what type of animal is the possum? So let's go look at what words describe the possum again. And again, we can see in the softly, snatching, and nervous. So the answer isn't angry, it can't be fierce, and it isn't cute, but the word they used to describe was softly, so C is correct, soft. Question 11 reads, what does the phrase after the darkness suggest in the poem? Quickly, let's choose a new color and go back and see where this line is. And we can see it here, at night after the darkness falls. So when it asks, what does the phrase suggest, it cannot be daytime, cannot be morning, it doesn't say anything about a full moon, so we know that the answer will be B, it is nighttime. Question 12 reads, when will the possums come to you? A reads, when you call ch-ch-ch, B reads, when you feed them bread, C reads, when you stay still, and D reads, all of the above. Just because B reads all of the above, you shouldn't pick it. We should check that at least 2 of them are correct, because if 2 of them will be correct, the third one is most likely to be correct as well. So let's check the A and B. And we can see that here, A is correct. And then if you read the bread line, it is also correct. But let's quickly just check for C as well. C says, when you stay still. And we can see that in line here. So we know that for 12, D is correct because A, B, and C are correct. Let's move on to question 13. Question 13 reads, the repeated use of the word softly in the poem primarily serves to emphasize which of the following. So here, let's quickly identify which technique they used. Repeated use here suggests repetition. And now let's read through the answers. A reads, the physical frailty of the possums. B, the silent passage of time at night. C, the quiet background of the nighttime setting. D, a need for a gentle and respectful reproach. So let's quickly cross out what we think the answers will not be. You can see A, the physical frailty of the possums, as this was not described to us in the poem. It could likely be C, the quiet background of the nighttime setting, but let's quickly look at where this softly is first. So let's go back to the poem. We can see softly here. We can also see it here and here. So you can very softly pat their thick fur gently like that. It's true. So if we look through the answers again, they weren't describing the passage of time at night, and they weren't suggesting that here again in the question, they weren't talking about the nighttime setting, in the softly, so we know that it must be D, a need for a gentle and respectful approach. For what? For the possums. Let's quickly write that at the bottom. Okay, let's move on to question 14, our final question. 14 reads, how does the structure of the poem mirror the behavior of the possums? A. It creates a chaotic rhythm that reflects the unpredictable nature of wildlife. B. It forces the reader to rush, much like the hurried pace of the possums. C. It mimics the slow, deliberate, and cautious movement of the possums. D. The long flowing lines suggest a sense of continuous motion. So already we can see that D is incorrect since it says here long flowing lines. And if you go back to the poem, we can see that there aren't long lines here. Let's go back and read the other questions. We can also see that it won't be A. It creates a chaotic rhythm. As if you look through the words, chaotic is not how I would describe this poem. So it could either be B or C. So let's see if it's rushed or if it's slow. If you look through the poem, let's identify a few techniques here. Let's look at the difference between these lines and these lines here. We call these short sentences truncated sentences. And what's the effect of truncated sentences? Well, the effect here is that it slows us down as we're reading. You can see as they're listing out adjectives, they'll slow you down so you can focus on reading. So that's how we know that 14 would be slow, deliberate, and cautious movements. So the answer is C. I thank you guys for coming to Education College's Selective Preparation Power Reading Test 46. That was the poem.